All right, catchers. So this is what I'm talking about. So as we're going down to receive the ball, right? Sometimes, and myself included, and this is a very easy thing to get into, when you are when let's take a low pitch for example. When you're going to receive the ball from underneath the ball, there can and we get real extended through it because of whether it's what regardless of what it is, whether it's a pitch that is real low and you have to really go get it, or it's something that you just haven't worked on a ton, or you're kind of forget. Like, it's such a long game. Sometimes we lose focus from during certain pitches. But what I mean is wrist and arm. What I mean by it is, as you go to receive it, sometimes we can get caught in, as we receive it, rolling our wrist on a low pitch, or as we receive an out with a right-handed batter, as we receive an outside pitch, we're kind of getting a little wristy with it. And sometimes if we're having trouble keeping our elbow out as we receive an inside pitch to a righty, we can get a little bit like that. Or a high pitch. A high pitch can sometimes, instinctively, we can just we want to like rip it down with our wrist. But if we can get a little bit more, for example, in a high pitch, if we can get a little bit more like arm instead of wristy, we're going to create a better presentation to the umpire. Same thing with a low pitch. And instead of rolling our wrist as we receive it, it's a rigid piece with the arm, so it's not a wristy roll. Same thing with the outside pitch on a righty. We don't want to like pull it back in with our wrist. We want to receive it like that, right? Same, and when with the inside pitch on a righty, if you're keeping your elbow out, it's gonna almost take care of itself on its own. It's really hard to be wristy. It's really hard to be wristy when your elbow is out on an inside pitch. So that can kind of correct itself. But the thing to try and remember, especially on a low pitch, because a low pitch is the easier one to correct, that your wrist does want to take over, is just to almost think, I like to think about it like this. I tell my guys, I like to think about my Rawlings label as almost staying up to the sky. Once that Rawlings label kind of leaves the sky, that's when our wrist is taken over. And then with an high fastball, you almost have to anticipate that. We don't have to necessarily be, down on the ground and loaded when we know it's going to be a little bit of a higher pitch. So just as